general, Help Scout is a customer communications tool. It's not only a shared email inbox or a help desk, if you're familiar with that term, but it also allows you to offer live chat as well as other self service tools to your customers. And at Help Scout, customer support means everything to us. In fact, we as a company have spent the last 13 years thinking about nothing but customers. And our sole mission is to empower businesses to delight more of your customers, not to reduce support costs or deflect more tickets or even make things harder on your customer facing teams. We like to think that the more delight for your customers means a thriving business for you. And we also believe that customer delight is your most effective marketing channel. So your support team is having more conversations with customers than anyone else at your company, and they're the center of this channel. And every conversation that your team has had with your customers can be found in one unified platform with Help Scout, helping you give them the best experience possible. If you've outgrown your email inbox and you need to start using a tool that brings your team together to help your customers in one space, there are a lot of things you're going to find useful in Help Scout. Things like a simple interface that you can get up on and running in a matter of minutes, gives your customers a very personal experience. Features that prevent your teammates who answer emails from stepping on each other's toes. A better organization and overview of what's going on in your email inboxes, and reporting on your incoming emails and team activity. And we are here for you as well. We have teammates all across the globe. So if you ever need us at any time, we are here. And we also have over a decade's worth of content on just about every customer support subject you can think of. We have been in this world for a really long time, and we are all here to help in any way that we can. So here we're on the dashboard of our Help Scout account. And under this question mark icon you see here, you can open up our Get Help beacon. And beacon is an embeddable widget that you can put on your website as well. And when you do it, we'll link to your knowledge base site, which we call Docs, and also has options for your customers to contact you. But this is our beacon. So here's where you can search through all of our Docs articles with the help of AI there, or reach out to our team via email should you have any questions. Or you can always reach out to us by emailing help@helpscout.com. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Like I said earlier, please ask any questions that you may be having in the Q&A area that you see there in Zoom, and we'll get all of those answered at the end. So right now we're on the dashboard, and here's where you'll see an overview of everything that's going on in your account, such as what's coming into your inboxes. And one thing that's great about Help Scout is if you need to manage more than one email address or social media page, maybe for multiple departments, products, or even brands, you can set those up as separate inboxes with their own distinct settings. Our standard plan includes 2 inboxes, and our plus plan has 5 inboxes. So you can access quite a few different email addresses and social media pages all from one central place. So these boxes you see across my screen here, the ones with the blue lines over them, those are inboxes. And the box on the far right with the green line over it is for Docs. And Docs is our knowledge base feature, and it's a great place to keep all of your help documentation available to your customers. Things like FAQs and training tutorials. We do support internal docs only your team has access to if you want to use that for things like policy or procedure documentation. And there's also a really nice integration between our help desk and Docs, but we'll talk more about that when we go through how we reply to emails from our inbox. So I'm going to hop into our support inbox here, and what we're looking at now is the main inbox view. And over here on the left, you'll see some folders. These folders up top here are default. They come with every Help Scout account. And at the bottom down here are some custom folders that I have created, and we'll get into how we create those when we go over workflows in our settings. But custom folders work a lot like custom views and give you a simple way to organize certain types of conversations. But right now we're in the unassigned folder, and this is the default place that your email and social media messages come into Help Scout. So this is kind of like your inbox or the first stop for those incoming conversations and the queue, so to speak, that your whole team will work through. So for example, if you were to email help@helpscout.com, it would come right into our own unassigned folder. So this is just like any other email inbox that you're already used to. Now, as far as how emails appear in these folders, Help Scout has four statuses: active, pending, closed, and spam. And the first two that you see here are active and pending. And active is the default status whenever a new email comes in. And you can recognize them with the bold heading there. So all those emails you see there up top in bold, those are active. And pending conversations are down at the bottom there. They're unbolded. And pending is a status that's typically used for when a conversation is on hold, like if you're waiting on some other sort of information, either from the customer or from your team. You can mark that as pending, kind of get it out of the way a little bit, but it's still there for you to get back to whenever you're ready. And then underneath that, we have the Mine folder, and this will show me any active or pending conversations that are assigned specifically to me. So if you start to assign things amongst your team, those conversations for each team member will show up in their own Mine folder as well. And to round that out, we can go down here to the Assign folder, where you'll see all of the active and pending emails that are assigned to anyone on your team. And I have an additional column here for Assign To, which I can use to filter these emails to a specific team member. Like, let's say, for example, I want to see all of the conversations assigned to Josie. I can just use this drop down and select her there, and then I'll see everything that she's working on. And this is also really great if you have a member on your team who is out for the day, because you can quickly take a look at what's coming in for them and handle that accordingly. So nothing should slip through the cracks, as your team has visibility into everything your customers need at all times. And then lastly here, I have the closed folder, and this is going to show me any conversation, no matter who it has been assigned to, that are closed out. And these are emails and social media conversations that you consider resolved and you're not expecting to work on them anymore. Now, do keep in mind that if a customer does reply to one of those messages, it will become active again. So you never have to worry about missing anything when you mark any of these emails or social media messages there as closed. And let's say that you're here in your closed folder looking for a past conversation, maybe because it had a really good answer to a similar question that you want to reference. You can use the search bar to look for it. So to get there, you can click on this magnifying glass on the top right-hand side of any screen in Help Scout. And then over here on the left, you'll see a bunch of different filters that allow you to really dig in and help you find the exact email you're looking for. So for example, I can do something like this. And this is going to show me every email or social media conversation in my account that has the word return in the body of that conversation. And something really cool that I can do is I can stack these filters to dig even deeper into what I might be looking for. So now I'm seeing every email in my account that has the word shipping in the subject line and also has the word return in the body of that email. And here I can see everything that I can search for email conversations, social media conversations, customers, help articles. So just about anything in my account, I can search for here. One last thing I want to point out about the inbox here. If someone else on my team is viewing an email, I will see a little triangle to indicate that right there. So it'll be yellow if someone is viewing an email, and it will be red if they are replying. So if I see that someone else on my team is already looking at an email or replying to one, I can just skip right over it and move on to the next. And if I happen to go into an email and someone on my team is looking at it or replying to it, I'll see their Help Scout profile photo up at the top. And here you can see that same red indicator that lets me know that Ben here is replying to this email. Okay, I'm going to pop into another email here so we can talk about all the great things we can do when we are replying to customers. And one big thing I want to point out is this previous conversations area over on the right sidebar. And this allows me to look at all other times either myself or someone on my team has communicated with this person. And it opens up just like an easy to scan window so I don't have to leave the current email reply that I'm working with. And here you can see emails. You can see if you connect SMS through one of our third party providers, you can see those messages here. You can see live chat transcripts. And you can even see phone call notes about the customer. So you're always going to have all the context you need to answer their current email that you're working with. And you'll even see previous Facebook or Instagram messages here as well if a customer has reached out to you on one of those platforms. So let's say that we're ready to reply to this email from Tanya here. We could take a look at how to use this top menu bar. Going up to these conversation options, you'll see a bunch of different buttons here that reflect what we can do. And to reply to the customer, down here at the bottom, you'll see that big blue reply button. We can just click on that. And this option just sends a regular looking email like the one you would see if you were sending from Gmail or Outlook. And here in the basic email editor, I can compose my reply. And I can also add CC and BCC if I need to. And when composing my reply, I can also add attachments. I can add emojis, images, and I can even choose from a few different formatting options as well, just like any other email app that you're already used to. And another option we have here is for what we call saved replies. And with these, if I have any common responses to frequently asked questions, I can create them as templates and then just add them in when I'm replying to customers' email. So I can just select one of these from my list here, and it's going to do some great things like auto-populate with the customer's first name. So that's one less thing that I have to do. And likewise, if this was a brand new reply that I just wrote out and I thought, you know what, we actually get this question with some frequency, and I think it would be really helpful to use this reply again in the future, I can open my menu back up, go into my saved replies, and I can save a brand new reply right from here. And saved replies can save you a lot of time for your team day to day and also help ensure that everyone is providing the same consistent and helpful support to your customers. And then lastly here, we have the option to include a link to a help article in our email reply, which is what I was talking about when I mentioned the nice integration we have between our self-service knowledge base tool that we call Docs and our help desk. So right from within the email editor here, if I wanted to share documentation with a customer, I could just search for it really quickly. And with one click of a button, I can add that nice pre-formatted link right into my email. So instead of navigating out to my knowledge base, searching for that there, copying the URL, coming back into Help Scout and pasting that in, I can do all of that right here without having to leave my email. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and discard this message so we can hop into the next option here, which is a note. Now, you might notice that notes have a different color coding. They're yellow. And the difference between a note and a reply is that a customer is not notified of a note. So customers are never, ever going to be able to see anything that you add here into a note. This is just for your team and is a great way to communicate internally. In fact, if you have a question for someone else on your team, you can @mention them and they'll get a notification that their attention is needed on this email, both inside their Help Scout account, and they'll also get that notification sent to their own email address as well. All right, I'm going to discard that also. And I'm going to go back up to the top here. And another option we have are for what we call tags. And I have a couple of tags on this email already. They show up underneath the subject headline there. And if I go back to my unassigned folder for a moment, you can see tags from this high level view as well. They kind of look like and work similarly to Gmail's label feature, but you can do a whole lot more with them. And if I want to add additional tags, I can go back into my email and I can do that here. And if I start typing, it will autocomplete. So if the tag has already been added before, it will show up in this dropdown. And this will hopefully keep your team from spelling things or from creating multiple variations of the same tag. And tags are a really great way to keep track of things. We ourselves use them to track things like feature requests. You can also filter all of your reports by tag and filter your search results by tag. So they're just a super handy, flexible little tracking tool there. Next to that, this cute little lightning bolt here is what we call a manual workflow. And manual workflows help me group a bunch of actions to run together on my command, something like a nice little easy button. So let's see, let's take a look at this one here. So in this case, my workflow is set up to send an email to the customer, change the status of that email, add a tag, and add a note, all with one click of a button. And manual workflows are always there for me to run whenever I want. They don't run automatically like automated workflows do. And we're going to get into those in just a moment here. But you can run these on a one-off basis. So if you find yourself answering the same types of questions and doing the same repetitive actions with them, you can handle those with one click instead of, say, 8 to 10 different clicks. All right, now I want to hop in and show a few of our AI tools here. Let me see, I'll get into this conversation right here. And you'll notice that there is a purple box over here on the left-hand side, and this is a tool that we call AI Summarize. So if you ever find yourself reading an email conversation that has a lot of threads on it, you can use AI to magically read through all of those threads for you instantly, and then leave a bullet point summary for you on the left-hand side of the conversation here. And this will help you save a lot of time when it comes to reading through long email threads to make sure you have an understanding of the customer's problem. We also have AI when you are writing email replies to customers as well. Just going to insert a quick saved reply in here so we can take a look at this. When you highlight any text there, this little toolbar will pop up, and this first option we have here is what we call AI Assist. And this is available when you are writing email replies to customers as well. So when you highlight that text, you'll see that AI option appear. And here you can do things or use AI, I should say, to help you fix spelling and grammar, make it longer, shorter, more friendlier, more professional. You can even translate that into about 14 different languages right there if you need to write on the fly. And we call that AI Assist. So again, anytime you're writing an email, you can highlight that text and that option will be available to you there. And the last AI addition we have right now is what we call drafts. So with one click of a button, you can use AI to generate a draft email reply to the question that you need answers. And drafts will use all of your previous replies and articles from your knowledge base to craft a reply using those data sources. So I've got one pulled up here that you can see. I've got this sort of original email here. And then you can see that AI is just writing out a reply right there for me. So you can click that button, and then it'll take a minute to sort of go check those sources, and then it will just start generating that reply. Now, it doesn't send the reply. It allows you to make any sort of changes that you would like to that reply, and then you can hit send. So maybe sometimes you'll hit it and it will be a perfect reply and you can just send it immediately. Or, you can take a quick look at it, make any small little changes that you might want to it, and then send that email right away. And Drafts is an add-on for all Help Scout plans, and it starts at $50 per month for 100 drafts generated. And much like saved replies, we hope that Drafts help you save time and allow your entire team to provide that more consistent support to your customers. Okay, so that's how conversations work. Let's hop into our inbox settings from this little gear icon below our folders so we can check out how to automate a lot of the functions within Help Scout. Now, all the settings you see here work per inbox, and this is where you can find a lot of the admin type things you'll need to manage your conversations with your customers. So things like satisfaction ratings, This is our happiness survey, and it's a great way to give your customers a chance to voice how they feel about the support they receive from your team. Now, it works just like you see here right out of the box, but if you want to make any changes at all, you can go up here to the translate area, and there you can change different words or completely translate that into a different language if you need to. And then that brings us to workflows. And I touched on this a moment before with those manual workflows, but here's where you can set those up. Again, we have two different types of workflows. We have manual and we have automatic. And manual workflows, like I said, just group a bunch of actions together. The if condition with them is always the same since they only run when a user selects to run one from a dropdown on an individual email. They're just a nice way to run a bunch of actions together at once. Automatic workflows, on the other hand, are a bit more complex, but will save you a ton of time and are pretty easy to set up. So with these automatic workflows, again, instead of running from when someone selects to run them on an individual email, these run automatically whenever certain conditions are met in Help Scout. So you can think of these as basic if-then statements. If one thing happens in Help Scout, then this action will automatically take place. And workflows can be used in an almost infinite number of ways. You can tag incoming emails based on the text in the body of that email. You can set up folders to highlight aging emails. You can send a follow-up email to customers after a specific period of time. Even auto-assign emails from customers to specific team members. So again, any busy work you might be doing day to day, a workflow can most likely help eliminate that from your life so you can spend that time taking care of your customers instead of doing all that busy work. Okay, I'm gonna hop in to show you reports really quickly, and then we'll go into Beacon and messages. So up here in this dropdown, you can access reports, and we have 7 different types of reports to follow along with in Help Scout. So one feature consistent amongst all these reports is this date filter. So reports default to the last 7 days, but I can set them to filter to any time frame I want, including custom timeframes. I gotta switch this to a bit of a custom time frame here. And this is our demo account, so there's not a lot of data in it, but I can get a little bit of flowing through here. All right, so like I said, this is the email report, and this tracks how quickly your team is providing service across email specific things. So it's how quickly and efficiently your whole team handles emails. And here you can see how long the customer is waiting to receive a reply, how many replies it takes to come to a resolution on average, and how long your team members take to compose their replies or handle emails. The company report here is where you can see individual performance across your team. Your whole team will be listed out at the bottom of this report. And I can click on any one of my teammates' names there to give me a performance breakdown specific to that teammate across all the channels that they interact with in Help Scout. And speaking of all channels, this report measures the overall volume across all of your communication channels in Help Scout. It can tell you how busy you were at certain times of day, which is super useful for staffing. You can also look at your most common tags to identify conversation trends, saved replies to see the most common questions you're answering, what workflows you run the most frequently, and which of your customers reach out the most. All right, the last thing I want to go over here is Beacon and messages. And like I mentioned earlier, Beacon is an embeddable widget that you can put on your website. And when you do, it has 4 main functions. It's a contact form. You can offer live chat to your customers through it. It can be connected to your doc site to display help articles to anyone on your website. And the latest addition to Beacon is a tool we call Messages, which allows you to proactively message visitors of your website instead of waiting for them to interact with your beacon first. And we know that every beacon has a goal, and sometimes your goal is to talk with more customers and gather more feedback. And sometimes your goal is to push a more self-service path so that customers can find answers faster. And with that in mind, we created modes so you can align Beacon's user experience with your own goals. And we have 3 here for you to choose from. So the first is self-service, and with this, visitors will not see any contact options in your beacon until they have viewed at least one article or had an unsuccessful search. Neutral mode puts docs articles and contact options side by side, so visitors can kind of choose their own adventure there. And then the ask first mode prioritizes the email and chat options first and foremost, but visitors can also access and search docs articles with a single click up there at the top of the beacon. And then once you've got the beacon just the way you want it, we give you a little piece of code to get that added to your website. And if that's not something that you can handle, we've got an email template here. You see that code is included. And you can share this with your developer, your web manager, whoever that might be. And it should just take them just a few minutes to get the beacon added to your website. And then once you've got the beacon added to your site, you can come back here and make any changes that you want, and those will automatically be reflected back into your beacon. And the last portion of Beacon is a tool that we call Messages, and this allows you to push informative guides to your website visitors. You can see one has just popped up here. It's a very meta experience. I got a message on my messages page, but this is a really good example of something that you can do with messages there. And you can do so many different things. So let's say you want to gather feedback from people visiting your website. When someone visits your homepage, you can display a message to them right away to ask for that feedback, and that data will come right back into your Help Scout account. And much like workflows can be used in an almost infinite number of ways, so can messages. So you can offer everything from more self-service support all the way through to interacting with your website visitors more deeply if you'd like to. So say you want to offer more self-service support where people might need it the most, you can have a message display on a single page of your website. And that message can open up right up to a relevant docs article in your beacon. Or you can use a message to connect someone to sign up for, a mailing list or a webinar, things like that. You can have the message link right to that sign up form. Or if you want to prompt your visitors to interact with you more deeply, that's not a problem with messages either. You can invite them to email you, to start a live chat, or even leave you instant feedback through emoji or even more traditional NPS if that's something that you'd like to do. I really appreciate everyone's time. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, anything at all that you need, help@helpscout.com. All of these folks you see here, my teammates, Liam, Disha, Kelly, Annabelle, another Kelly, uh, quite represented all around the world, and glad to lend a hand. So never hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we're here for.